Hello, Scouts. Professor Patch here. I understand that you will be attending the 2023 National Jamboree. You're going to have a great time. One of the activities we would like to familiarize you with is patch trading. Let's first talk about the patches you will be wearing on your uniform. This is the 2017 participation patch. Every scout attending the Jamboree, no matter where in the world they come from, will be wearing the 2023 participation patch on their uniform just above the right pocket. This patch can remain on your uniform until the next Jamboree occurs, which is generally every 4 years. Your council will provide you with this patch to sew on your uniform. There have been 19 National Jamborees so far, including this one. The first Jamboree was scheduled for 1935, but just like our 2021 National Jamboree, the 1935 Jamboree was canceled at the last minute due to a polio outbreak and was then held in 1937. As you probably know, our 2021 National Jamboree was postponed for 2 years because of COVID. Here are the participant patches from the first 6 National Jamborees: the 1935, 1937, 1950, 1953, 1957, and 1960. 2 of these patches feature George Washington kneeling at the snow at Valley Forge. That is because the 1950, 1957, and 1964 National Jamborees occurred within 20 miles of us at what is now Valley Forge National Park. The second patch that you will wear on your uniform is the Jamboree Shoulder Patch, or JSP. Here is the 2023 Cradle of Liberty Council JSP. Your council will supply you with 3 of these. This is worn on the left shoulder and identifies which council you are from. This is a different patch than the council shoulder patch, which is normally worn on the same place on your left shoulder. Here is the current Cradle of Liberty CSP for comparison. The JSP is an official issue patch and can be worn permanently on your uniform. You do not have to take it off after the Jamboree or replace it with a CSP. It lets people know that you attended the National Jamboree. At the Jamboree, you should trade JSPs and not CSPs. The patch has to have the words 2023 National Jamboree scripted on it for you to want it. Until you attend a National Jamboree, you have no idea how widespread patch trading can be. Hundreds and hundreds of scouts will be sitting by the side of the road or at the foot of a bridge with a sheet or a towel spread out in front of them, offering patches for trade. While patch trading is fun, we don't want you spending too much time doing that, as there are too many other activities to participate in. Your scoutmaster will be keeping an eye on you to make sure that you're not spending too much time indulging in patch trading. We make our Jamboree Council sets and JSPs available to the contingent at a 50% discount over what the general public will be paying at the Scout office. So please be sure to use the special form that your Jamboree Scoutmaster will be giving you and order through them. Each trade traditionally ends with a Scout handshake as a sign of fair dealing and brotherhood. Every council puts out a unique set of Jamboree shoulder patches for their scouts to collect and trade. Starting in 1997, instead of a single JSP, the councils began to produce sets of patches. They are frequently themed with something that is distinct to that council. Most sets have a center patch which the JSP fits around. This center patch, produced by Greater Yosemite Council in 2005, features A&W root beer and hot rods. A&W Root Beer was founded in 1919 in Lodi, California, which is located within that council. All patch designs must be reviewed and approved by National. Here is the 2001 set from Grand Canyon Council featuring desert animals. Utah Parks Council typically does a dinosaur set. There is always a hot commodity patch or set that everyone has to have. In the past, it has been the Star Wars set, or the Marvel set, or the Doctor Who set. The owner is going to want 10 of your patches for one of theirs. Remember, always trade 1 for 1. Every scout will tell you that their patch is the rare one. Well, that just can't be so. They make an app for your phone that will allow you to scan the barcode on the back of the patch. That will tell you who manufactured the patch, what council it is from, and how many of that patch were actually made. Some councils are so small that they may only have one troop, or they may not even have enough scouts to fill one troop, so they have to share a troop with another small council. If this is the case, there won't be very many of their patches at the Jamboree, so their patches might be in higher demand and might be considered rare. Other councils, like Cradle of Liberty Council, who currently have the third largest contingent in the country, may bring a lot of troops and will therefore have a lot of patches at the Jamboree. The demand for them might be a little less because there are so many of their patches. We have overcome this at the past several Jamborees by having a superior design that the scouts like and want. In the past, there had been a fear that adults might take advantage of scouts when trading patches with them at the Jamboree. So historically, adults could only trade with other adults and youth could only trade with other youth. Starting in 2013, this changed, and now they allow adults to trade with youth. Don't be surprised if you get a very good deal when trading with adults. At the Jamboree, no money should be changing hands. You should only trade patches. You should not be buying any patches. So if you arrive at the Jamboree with 25 patches, you should expect to go home with the 25 patches that you traded for at the Jamboree. Once you catch the patch trading fever at the Jamboree, and you will, it will be too late to buy any patches there. So make sure that you get your patches before you leave. We don't yet know where our contingent will be camping at the 2023 National Jamboree. In the past, we have been in villages A or B, which housed all scouters from the Northeast region. If you want to get patches from other parts of the country, then you will have to visit other parts of the Jamboree. Don't trade all of your patches on the first day. Wait a few days to see what is out there. You might like something a little better later in the week. Every Boy Scout council has an Order of the Arrow Lodge. Order of the Arrow Lodges also produce patches for the National Jamboree. OA patches generally follow the council theme. Only OA members should trade OA patches. If an OA patch is a two-piece set, the top half is called a flap and the bottom half is a chevron. Ghost patches occur when a patch is made entirely of one color. The subject matter and the text are raised, but it is often difficult to read. Scouts love ghost patches and will frequently trade several patches for one ghost patch. Remember, Professor Patch's first rule of trading is 1 for 1. All patches cost about the same to make. It is only supply and demand and your enthusiasm for a certain design that could make you want to trade more for one patch. Resist that urge to give in just because someone says their patch is rare or cool. Spoof patches are not official BSA patches. They generally do not have a fleur-de-lis on them or a BSA logo, and they frequently violate copyright laws. Manufacturers are trying to make a profit based on scouts thinking they are cool. The Hooters patch is one that shows up at every jamboree. We suggest avoiding these patches. Some patches have glow-in-the-dark or light-activated threads that reflect light when it is shined on them. On this patch, the stars glow with light exposure. Some scouts may want you to break up your set and trade one of your patches for one from their set. Don't be afraid to say, "No, I don't want to break up my set." Serious collectors will trade their entire set for your set. Since our 2023 set contains 5 JSPs and a center patch, make sure you get back a set with a similar number of patches. We also have an extra patch, our uniform patch. This will allow you to ask for an extra patch in return. Several councils produce both a fundraising set and a trading set. We would suggest that our scouts stick to the trading sets. The fundraiser sets are way more expensive as fewer are produced to drive up demand. There is a large military presence that supports the Jamboree. Have a conversation with one of our military personnel, and they might just give you a patch from their service branch. You can expect to see members of the Army, Navy, Coast Guard, and National Guard. Most of them were scouts as youths, and some even attended National Jamboree as scouts. The military also has exhibit areas to visit where you can definitely pick up a free patch there. Visit several times and you can build up quite a stock for future trades. One of my favorite collection groups is from the U.S. Army Entomology, which are the bug guys. I try to get one of these from every jamboree. There are lots of other interesting groups that support the jamboree, and they all produce patches that they will give you for visiting their activity area. This is an example of the fire department's patches. Other support groups that produce patches are trading posts, banking, mail services, cooks, and action centers, and many more. There's a conservation area that you should visit. Most of the conservation groups, like the Wild Turkey Federation and national parks, will give you a patch for visiting with them. All the patches I've just showed you were obtained for free by visiting the various exhibits of these Jamboree supporters. Here are the only 5 single JSPs that Philadelphia Council produced. They are from a time before councils made sets, and they only made a single JSP that everyone in the contingent wore. These 5 patches are from the 1973, 1977, 1981, 1985, and 1993 jamborees. Take a look at the one in the upper left-hand corner. Even though it was rectangular in shape, it was still worn on the left shoulder, just like any other JSP. These are the only 4 single patches that Valley Forge Council produced: the 1953, 1985, 1989, and 1993. And the round one at the top, just like the Philadelphia rectangle, was also worn on the left shoulder as a JSP. The reason we show you these 2 councils is that Philadelphia and Valley Forge councils merged to form the current Cradle of Liberty Council. This is what the Cradle of Liberty Council produced in 1997 and what all of our scouts wore on their uniform. In 2001, Cradle of Liberty had one patch design, but there were 16 different border colors. Each troop wore a different border color on their uniform. Our 2005 Cradle of Liberty set featured Ben Franklin, who founded the first fire company in the country. Each of our troops had a different fire engine on their uniform. Our 2010 patches all had different helicopters made by Boeing. The center patch was laser cut to accept the JSPs. That made it look like a helicopter rotor. We were the first council to use a shape other than a circle, square, rectangle, or pentagon for the center patch. Other councils have since copied our idea of a non-standard center patch, and designs have really taken off. In 2013, our patches featured 8 different jets, all made by Lockheed Martin. But starting in 2013, National no longer allowed us to put troop numbers on our JSPs, so we made a separate JSP that every scout from our council wore on their uniform. 2017 saw us use famous artwork depicting Philadelphia area Revolutionary War moments for our troops. Let's review some safety precautions. Patches are highly desirable, and other people are going to want what you have. If 99% of the scouts will abide by the Scout Oath and Law, that means we have to be on the lookout for the other 1%, the knuckleheads. Never go out alone and never trade alone. The buddy system needs to be in place at all times, especially when you're trading patches. Take turns trading, and the second scout should have your back. There will be dozens of scouts looking at your patches, picking them up, asking you questions, and inadvertently distracting you. This is where a second set of eyes from your buddy helps. Don't take all of your patches out with you in the morning, only the ones you want to trade that day. Leave the others in your tent, hidden and out of view. Don't brag about your patches. Don't make yourself a target. After you return home from the jamboree, you need to do something with your collection. They should be stored in a smoke-free area that is temperature controlled. They should not be in an attic that could experience extreme heat in the summer, or in a basement that is damp, wet, or mildew musty smelling. Don't store patches in a Ziploc or clear plastic bag. Over time, some of the color from the threads could leach out onto the plastic. Probably the best way to store your patches is in a binder using page protectors, which you can get at Walmart or Staples. That way they can be viewed at any time, and the memories of your jamboree experience will come flooding back to you as you look at the images. They can also be stored in specifically designed patch boxes. You could even frame your set or put it in a shadow box and hang it on your wall. Remember, this jamboree was originally scheduled for 2021, and some councils had already produced their patch sets before the cancellation. So you may come across some 2021 sets like this one from Black Warrior Council. This set from Central Florida Council was designed by Guy Harvey, a world-renowned marine wildlife artist. This is the third jamboree he has helped the council with his fantastic artwork. Here is the 2021 East Carolina set. All the patch images I have shown so far have come from my collection. I do not have any 2023 sets yet from other councils other than our own Cradle of Liberty set. I do want to show you some examples of other 2023 council sets, so I have captured some online images. Here are 6 council sets that I have found to be interesting. The first is Greater Hudson Valley Council, which is very impressive and features World of Warcraft. It could be one of this year's must-have sets. Next is Sagamore Council's Insect set, a nice change from their usual Smiling Tent sets. The third set is a limited edition Sagamore Council set, another bug set, but there are only made 15 sets in order to drive up demand. They are currently listed on eBay for $400, so I'm not even going to try for this set. Indian Nations Council pretty much reproduced their 2017 theme, but it is still pretty cool. Transatlantic Council made a nice set, and because there will be so few scouts from that council, which is made up of Europe, Northern Africa, and Turkey, you may not see many of these at the Jamboree. And finally, we have the 2023 Central Florida Council set. They have used a NASA theme for their sets for several of the recent Jamboree, other than the 2021 set we just showed you. The final set I want you to see is the Cradle of Liberty Council set. This is what our scouts will be bringing to the Jamboree to trade. Be sure to pre-order some of these sets through your Jamboree Scoutmaster. Happy patch trading, and I do hope that you have a wonderful experience at the 2023 Jamboree. But remember, there's a lot to do and see at the Jamboree besides patch trading.
Right, ready? Go. Okay, go.
I reversed it.
Yeah, that's okay.
That's okay.
No one cares.
It don't matter.
Okay.
No. This one.
Starting here, this whole box. As a matter of fact, you might as well pause and do that as well.
Oh, and this is where I said, oh, great. And I just read the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Don't have to even look up.
Nope, don't have to look up.
Ready?
Go. In a binder using page protector.
Oh, you're killing me.
Go ahead and read what in a binder.
That's the fourth time.
No, that was the third.
Okay. Our 2005 Cradle of Liberty set featured Bren Franklin, who found it. Okay. I did. Woo! The knuckleheads. The knuckleheads. The knuckleheads.